Anadice Podcast, episode 11, take one. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anadice Podcast. And today's episode, I'm so excited to announce that the podcast is taking an extremely wonderful new direction, right? And for a long time, I'll always be talking about health and wellness. But for the Anadice Podcast going forward, we're really going to focus on digital empowerment, right? What does that mean? It means anybody who wants to monetize their passion, right? And to take their business, start a business online or scale and grow their business online and create a life that they love. So what is the goal here really? Is to create an online community of boss babes and bosses who want to create a life that they love and that they are unapologetically ambitious and want to make it work online in the digital space. Okay, so I started my first business in 2015. And that is when I started the online. That is when I took my business online for the first time. And then it was a lot of trial and error. In fact, I don't think Instagram was big then. There was no TikTok. There was no Twitter, was just starting out. It was mainly Facebook. And I was doing interior design or interior decor then. I took my first business online in 2015 and I was doing home interior design, interior decorating. And it's amazing how I was able to grow organically then. Of course, I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos to figure out how Facebook works. There weren't many blogs or even YouTubers really talking about this. Like I had to Kenyan YouTubers, so I had to learn what the West was doing and kind of replicate. And the algorithm was definitely much friendlier there. Like I was able to grow the page organically. And from there, I learned from mentors. I closed that interior design business. I started my planted kitchen in 2017. I took a lot of HubSpot, Google Class, and there's one more. Hootsuite. I took a lot of courses with Hootsuite, HubSpot, and Google to learn how to do it. And what I discovered was some strategies, amazing as they are, work very well for the Western market. Like there's a way that audience, that market responds to certain communication online or certain strategies online that don't necessarily work locally. And I had to learn through trial and failure, but I got it. I got a playbook that works for launches, for online courses, for products online. So I really felt like it was time to start bringing those conversations. And I would not even call myself an expert because I learned from other mentors. I learned from other business leaders. I learned from other digital content creators. And what I want to do is create a space for people to learn, create a space for people that I personally know to share these experiences. And I can't wait for the lineup of guests that are going to come and give you practical, actionable steps. Right? No BS, no beating around the bush, trying to give you a lot of stories. No, we want you to succeed. So that's what I want to do. I want to create also an online community of boss babes and bosses. So we can all get successful together online, because, hey, whether you have a full-time job or not, I believe everybody has got like a special something to offer. That either they can turn it into a product, either they can turn it into an online course, either they can turn it into a podcast because you're a great storyteller, whatever it is. I believe there's space for everybody. The creator economy is estimated to be more than $100 billion by 2025. So if you're not in the creator's economy, my friend, you're missing out. It's blown up post-COVID, and it's not about to slow down. So you need to find a space in the creator's economy. So whether it is a product online, a course online, being a brand influencer, podcast, or retailing, whatever it is, you need to be in this space. So look out for that. We're going to really be having so many conversations. And another thing, we're going to have an Anadize Club, which you'll be free to join, but we're going to have a webinar. And that webinar is going to be really amazing. I'm going to talk about it closer to the end. Now, today's topic is how to start that online business, whether it's a brand or a product. And when I did a poll online on Instagram, if you don't follow me, please do. I'm Anna Dives on Instagram. And I asked people, have you ever thought of taking your business online or starting a brand online? I got 1,500 responses saying yes. 1,500 of you said yes. And more than 20% of you said, I don't know how to start. There's even a lady who DM'd me and said, I have capital. And I'm so glad you're talking about this now because I have the capital to start a business, but I don't know where to start. So I felt this is like the right topic for us to discuss today. How do you start online? Where do you start? So don't mind me looking at my phone because I have some notes and I want to make sure I cover everything. Okay, so let's dive in. So this episode assumes you have a concept. You already have an idea of what you want to do. And even if you don't, I still think it will be very useful. So say, for example, you want to go into fashion, you want to do a fashion brand online, or you want to sell gadgets online, or you're a photographer, you want to set yourself up online and get the ideal clients, or you want to do an online course, you want to offer financial consulting services, whatever it is. Because I think you can do anything online, truly, truly. So you want to launch or you want to grow your business. So listen in if this is you. And this episode, we're going to really focus more on the marketing stuff and less about the legal, very businessy stuff, okay? More of the marketing stuff, because I feel like that's my area. So how do you really start? So I think the challenge would be refining your idea, thinking about your idea. Here's the thing. Do people need your product? Do people need that idea that you have? Is there a gap? Is there a gap that you're feeling? Because here's the thing, and I learned the hard way. Imagine the product and service you create is not for you. It's not for you. It's for your target market. It's for your audience. So you need to be able to put yourself in their shoes. So you need to first establish that it's needed. That's the first place. And then establish that there's a gap. Okay. I remember there's a time I was starting a service for nannies and I thought it was like perfect, to teach them how to cook healthy. Let me tell you, the biggest stumbling block was to discover that it's not an actual need. Brilliant product, but it wasn't an actual need because employers of nannies do not think or value a huge investment for educating them. Right? So I had this product, but my target audience are not willing to spend at that level to train them. So think of it that way. And whether it's fashion, say you want to create like really fancy silk shirts. Do people want silk shirts? Like, do they want to spend that much on silk shirts? So think about, is there a gap? And then validate your idea. And for me, the best way is to go and ask. Whether you have 100 followers or 1,000 followers, go and ask. Validate your idea. Ask questions. So let me give an example of fashion, the shirts. So you want to do silk shirts. Then you go online and you ask them, and maybe you've identified at least it's for plus size. Great. So you go and ask them, hey guys, what do you look out for when you're buying shirts, when you're buying silk shirts? You'll find many people will say, no, I don't look for silk shirts. I look for cotton shirts. Okay, what about cotton shirts or whatever? I look for cotton shirts because I'm a plus size girl. I look for cotton shirts that don't have a gap in between buttons. That's really insightful. And that could be your unique selling point. It could be a USP that you make shirts for plus size girls that never have a gap in between buttons. Validate your idea. Keep going, keep asking, and then create reels, create posts, and analyze which ones are resonating more and why, and what questions are being asked from that. Let me tell you guys, if there's one thing I wish I did when I was starting in 2015, was to track everything. To track what did I do that made me grow so much organically then. Okay, the algorithm, yes, was friendlier, but what made me grow so much then? I wish I tracked the communication that I did, the targeting that I did with the Facebook ads. And this is something I would highly, highly encourage you if you're starting to do. Track and write down what is working. Then, of course, you need to do a business plan. If you're starting a business and you don't have a business plan, take it from me, because I learned the hard way. You are bound to be so confused. Because it happened to me. I started a shop and I was doing gluten-free products, and even though 90% of our business was coming from online, we still had like a 2% that was from the store. And the store was basically just a kitchen, a nice space for us to be able to cook gluten-free things. And I remember my friend Shiko, hey Shiko, she was like, please make sure you do a business plan. And I was like, yeah, I'll get into it. And I was like, in my head, I'm so clear what I'm doing. It's gluten-free products. And I didn't do a business plan. And do you know what happened? Every wind kept carrying us. Oh, people want gluten-free pizza. We are flowing with that. Oh, the client next door might use some tea and mandazi, gluten-free mandazi. We were just flowing with so many things. We ended up being so overwhelmed and we lost focus. So the business plan is supposed to like give you focus, for you to focus on what you're supposed to do. How many times they say focus? Like for you to actually get focus to do what you're supposed to do. So, and along with the business plan, you also need to do your registration, the business registration, the tax stuff, your PIN. You need to do like the legal stuff, whether it's copyrights or trademarks. You need to do, whether payee if you have employees. So that goes in there, and I won't go into in depth with that because my area is online marketing. Next, what do? It's important to secure a domain. So many people miss this step. Do you have a domain for your online product or brand? If you have that unique name or unique idea, have you already booked a domain for it? But then this is one of the things I do immediately. I think of an idea and I validate it. I immediately book a domain because I know somewhere along the way, somewhere down the path, I'm going to need a website. And so it's really nice if your shirts are plus size shirts with no gap. If that's your thing, then you have that .com and you can go ahead and create your website. So always think about booking your domain. It's so stressful when you have to start talking to people to, sell you domains. Like, you don't want to do that. And then also book your social handles. Now, let me talk about socials. You cannot be everywhere being everything. You gotta choose your main platform. And you gotta choose two main platforms. You're going to choose your long form platform and you're going to choose your short form platform. What do I mean by that? Long form content. So that could be your YouTube videos, your podcast, right? Then think about your short form content. So that's your TikTok, your Instagram, your Twitter. So choose one. And I think your audience will really help you know where to settle. Okay, so that's where we're going next. Audience. If you're speaking to everybody, you're speaking to nobody. That will be the new tagline for this Anadice podcast. You gotta speak to somebody. You gotta know who you're speaking to. So zero in on your target audience. It's not enough to say plus size women. Do you know how many plus size women there are? Like, you have to really narrow it down. Who wears shirts? It's definitely not 20-year-olds. It's people in the office. So corporate women. At what level, is your production quality? So what would be your price point? So who is it who will be able to actually buy that? You have to zero in. The more niche, the more specific you are, the more likely you are to succeed online, because your people need to come to you. And don't be afraid to repel. Me, Kwanza, I'm happy sometimes when I repel. Like, my person, this content is not for you. It's okay. Bye-bye. I want my people to come, because when they come, we form a community and it's even stronger, right? So know your audience. Online brand identity is so important. What's your brand speak? What's your brand look? Again, it's informed by your audience. You can't have swearing or cussing words if you're speaking to corporate women who need to wear your plus size shirts with no gap between the buttons. No way. So brand speak is important. Brand identity is important. There's something called color psychology that my brand person was telling me about, and I was learning that, different colors speak different things. So you need to actually narrow that down. Next, your niche. I've talked about niching down. Then I've talked about professional website. I see so many online brands missing out on this step. Why don't you have a website? And along with the website, why don't you have online selling capabilities? You're leaving money on the table. There's no use just having content for having content out there, unless you're being paid for your content. Listen in. Unless you're being paid for your content, you should really, really think about having a professional website where you're offering something in line with what your audience wants, and it has online selling capabilities. Spend the time. And if you can't build it out yourself, because there's so many easy ways. There are funnels nowadays, and funnels are just easy platforms to guide your customer through making the purchase. So funnels take no time to make. You can make on your own. And there are so many platforms you pay a minimum fee per month. And it leads the person up to the end. They pay and they access whether it's your digital product or whether it's your product so that you can ship it to them. So think about a professional website early in your business and make sure it has an online paying or selling capabilities. Finally, I'm just going to keep emphasizing this. Document what's working. I'm telling you guys, I wish I did that when I was beginning my planted kitchen as well. Document what's working, what kind of communication is working, what kind of ad settings are working. Then dig in deep with that. Don't try everything that everyone is trying. You keep trying until you find the thing that works for you and dig in deep with that. And you only begin by documenting. Don't lie to yourself that you will remember. You won't. Because time passes and a lot changes. So you need to be able to remember all that. Okay? So I'm going to talk about the webinar that I mentioned at the beginning. And this is an exciting webinar that's completely free of charge. And it is about, let me get this straight. It's about positioning yourself online, standing out, and growing your audience. And the goal is to get you more leads, emails, or phone numbers. The goal is to get you more engagement, more sales. And so how do you do that? How do you get more leads? How do you get to grow your audience? And this webinar is free. It's going to be happening on the 20th of April. And we have limited seats available. So the registration link will be available next week. Soon as it's up, because I'm going to announce on my socials as well. Make sure you follow me. Register because it's going to fill up quickly and you want to be in that webinar, right? And I'm also going to share some exciting free resources in that webinar. You don't want to miss it. So thank you so much for watching this episode, and I hope you like the new direction the brand is taking. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Section. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this new direction with digital, online marketing, sales, social media and personal branding. And share this with a friend, somebody you know brother, sister, whoever who is thinking of starting online and they're wondering where to start, share with them this episode. And again, subscribe. I want to give a shout out to the team that made all this possible. Outbox Ventures for the production. I want to thank Bespoke agency for all the PR and production. I want to thank Pendeza the Closet for this amazing, beautiful outfit that I think will be so good for the corporate woman. It's really nice. I want to thank Black Athena for the makeup, and one more I have for this amazing location. So again, remember to subscribe and see you next week.